A few words still about the conference in general. We started 4 years ago, and we designed it since the beginning as a participatory conference, so where we want actually you to have the word as much as possible. So for the rest of the day, all the speakers will be users. Can you maybe raise your hands, everybody who's going to give a presentation? Yeah, thank you. But we want more than these to speak. Thank you anyway that you're going to do it, but we want all of you to speak and make use of that during workshops and during the discussions. And there's a few things which may be obvious, but I still want to mention them, especially because it'll be a very varied group this time. Your 4 freedoms you should make use of, and you should make sure that they are there. And the one is that you talk about the things you see. If there's some thoughts which go through your mind and you doubt on, well, do people think the same or not, say them. That's when we get further. Especially if it's not what others think. If below, I see it differently, please speak up. That's when we all win. If there's anything which is puzzling you, ask. Talk about whatever's coming up. If you find that you have a certain reaction to something you hear, voice it. And for sure, if you feel that you don't have any of these 3 freedoms I just mentioned, also talk about it. And like that, we will get the most out of it.
Can I add one thing before? Yeah. Here it says in Swedish, there is no Wi-Fi here, but actually there is a Wi-Fi, and the code is over there. But if all of you try to access it, it will collapse because it's only a mobile Wi-Fi. But I think everybody who's from Europe can use the 3 or 4G connections here at the same price as at home. So please use your 3G connections if you're not from Australia or from okay. But the information is on that
on the top corner.
And we have a small box with information that can be passed around. I don't know where it is. It's there. Yeah.
So Reinout, you will give an introduction to the program. Reinout is my husband, that's why I just say Reinout, but he is also head of the garden in Amsterdam, head of the garden team.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'd like to refer to both Havard and Mari's talk this morning. First of all, Havard was talking with relation to the users of Iris, that as a first user you're a risk taker, and he's been expressing his, and Ovid as well, been expressing their appreciation for this risk taking. But what I would like to say, actually, what for me felt like the biggest risk in using Iris at that time, I think it was 2013, was not that the product wouldn't be good, because I looked at that and that was sound, but that I would lose my community of users using another product in the Netherlands at that time. So that was for me the biggest risk. So being here together with the user community is like the super reward for taking that risk and this being becoming better. Because obviously being a global community of users brings together a lot more knowledge and insights and techniques and approaches to the whole concept than just being a club within one country. So that was definitely worth the risk. And then the talk about Mari, you already concluded it. Where's Mari? Or she already left?
I think she's working.
Okay, that's why you're. Okay, well, anyways, thank you, Mari. I hope you hear me. What she was referring to at the end is that you should publish even if your data is not up to date. I totally agree with that, but at the same time, we should try to get our data up to date, of course. And I think so. Our role as Botanic Gardens is to have living collections with good associated data. That means maintaining healthy plants, but also maintaining the data connected to those plants. If people go out in the field collecting information about the season in which a seed was harvested or a location in which it was harvested, this is all very important information to make these collections relevant for the conservation of biodiversity. So as soon as these plants come to the Botanic Garden, it's really important to maintain that information, to maintain the living plant in a healthy condition, but also to maintain the information. And that is really difficult. It turns out every Botanic Garden I talk to is facing difficulties. Although it sounds so easy, you want to know what you have in your collection and where it is. It's very simple. But at the same time, it seems to be an impossible challenge. And the funny thing is these plants, they move, they disappear and they reappear, and it always happens when you don't look, right? Because plants don't move, right? They don't just disappear and they don't just appear, and still it happens. So this is what we should try to get under control. And there are actually two aspects to that, and one is a technological aspect, which is using the right information tools. And which is what we have been talking about a lot already. But the other aspect is an organizational aspect. Who is going to be in charge of what? How do you disperse? How do you make sure that whenever a plant moves, you get it, you see it? So I think these two aspects are represented in the program. So I'll just go through the program.
Two fingers on the.
So opening. So here is session 1. So we start actually with the soft side of record keeping, like how do you work together? How can you do that? And some will be more softer than others, like others will go more into how to use techniques together. And others will go more in depth about a culture of cooperating on record keeping. So that will be the morning session. After lunch, we'll go into more technical details, to the nuts and bolts, and explore some more technical possibilities with IrisBG, which are as essential as the social aspects, of course. Because no nuts and bolts, no machine, no process, no nothing. And then at the end, there will be a workshop just before the closing and time for questions and answers. There will be a workshop by Gothenburg and IrisBG, and it will help us as a group to actively develop ideas on how we can take this to the next step and work actively on a garden that's even better equipped and will be more successful in getting proper data. And we make Mari happy in about a couple of years' time. We're going to go from, 70 or 80% to a little bit more of correct data. So, I hope everybody will take the opportunity to get something out of the conference and actually be able to formulate for themselves what they will do different after the conference when you go back and get a new idea, take it to another stage. Thank you very much and enjoy the conference.